on balloon mode. Atari Commodore, pixels on screen. Living in the future was more than a dream. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll, we roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades to TV shows that ruled, you know we're kicking it old school. MTV playing our favorite jams, moonwalking with MJ, neon slam. Ghostbusters gear, we're ready to go, chasing slasher scenes, fears in tow. Back to the future, hop in the DeLorean. Knight Rider cruising, man, there's no ignoring them. Battlestar Galactica, what a ride. Looney Tunes, antics, pure joy inside. Blockbusters ruled, we lined up for days. Video games booted up in their pixelated maze. Movie marathons and popcorn nights, we ruled the screen, living in the lights. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll, we roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades to TV shows that ruled, you know we're kicking it old school. Grab your joystick, the game's about to start. A high-score world, now that's an art. We're cruising on hoverboards, living our dream. Old school forever, we're igniting the scene. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll, we roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades to TV shows that ruled, you know we're kicking it old school.
This episode is brought to you by PTZ Optics. Disability upgrade. New Wave Toys and their Replicate Amusements products. GG Retrobox. Get 3 to 5 games from your favorite series, consoles, and game genres delivered to your doorstep every month with GG Retrobox, the ultimate retro gaming subscription box for video game enthusiasts. Use code GRS15 at checkout to get 15% off your first box. And
Boom shakalaka! Hey everybody, it's Tim Kitzer here, the voice of some of your favorite video games like NBA Jam and NFL Blitz. And I'm here to talk to you about Old School Gamer Magazine. It's the magazine for retro gaming, and it's exploding. Kaboom! Print issues come out every other month, and if you want to go green, digital options are available. Visit oldschoolgamer.com and subscribe now. That's oldschoolgamer.com. Boom shakalaka! Kaboom!
Well, talk about coming in right under the gun. I think I got him in here. I think I have audio now. I think Mike has audio. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think he does. I think we actually have working audio. Wow. So maybe it is all AI generated these days, Mike.
Yeah, I'm a good luck charm, my man. Like, you know, you think you're going to have problems, and then I come on and everything works great, right?
Yep. Literally, what, 3 seconds? 3 seconds to go. So, hey, I think we have audio. I think we're good. Welcome, everyone. And Michael B., thank you for coming on. I get your name over here. I lost your name. Let's see. It's always something. Got to add your name.
Okay.
No one knows who you are. I got to add your name, of course.
Well, I'm very well known by people who don't like me. I'll tell you that.
Where did it go? Where did it go?
Glenn, my camera's mirrored. Do you know how I fix that?
Turn yourself around.
Turn myself around?
Yeah, turn yourself around. Then it won't be mirrored anymore.
I do this, and it blinks on and off. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't see a setting on my side. Maybe, let me see video setting. Let me take a look. Highlight, hang up. I can hang up on you.
No, don't do that. Might as well.
But
just
you're
go
not.
when
You know
it
what? You're not
appears.
mirrored on my side, so that's all that
Okay,
matters.
that's good.
Yeah, you're coming through
Yeah.
fine over here. All right. So after all that, welcome everyone. We're starting off Friday. We're actually about halfway through August already, Mike.
Too fast. Too fast. All the people in the U.S. kids are all gone back to school now too. Here in Canada, my daughter's got another couple of weeks this summer, so that's good.
That is pretty good. You spend a little time with your kids. I know you've been doing a lot with her lately, going out and doing a couple of things. I know you had those fires you're sending down to the U.S. that was smoking us out.
Yeah, well, that's just to get back at you guys because you get all the awesome stuff. Like you Americans can buy a Build-A-Cade FU, us Canadians can't. So, smoke you out and send some smoke signals. Hey, don't forget about us, guys. We like arcades too.
Well, we could talk about all stuff in a moment, but first let's welcome all the people in the chat, right? That's what we always have to do is welcome the people spending the Friday with us. So today, actually, the Be Me was first here today. He was coming in. We're going to talk about retro. So Michael is going to talk about some retro systems as well, but that's tonight's topic is retro games. Jason, of course, is here, our resident AI, and I don't know where this guy gets the time. He's doing like sometimes 4 or 5 YouTubes at the same time, Mike.
I've seen him play walkabout mini golf while moderating 2 streams. So yeah, he's pretty amazing.
All right, so we got him. Of course, we got J-Rod here as always. We have Mad, Astra Gaming here as well. We have Torg here, Hobby Hands, of course, Chris Ford. Who else we got down here? Eric Thorpe is here as well. How you doing, Eric? How you doing, buddy? Sean is here as well. Evening gentlemen. I don't know if that's a good word or a bad word. We already gentlemen, Mike? Are we gentlemen?
We're old looking, so people are going to call us gentlemen now at this point.
Okay. Well, Sean, appreciate you being here tonight. Of course, JJ's here. Mitchell B, who for the longest time I was always calling Michael B, but it's Mitchell B. So we welcome here as well. Of course, we have the Rextra show here tonight. The Rextra's in here. We're all going to be good, friendly people here tonight. We're going to have a good time. Good time. Don't get the frowns, Mike. We're good. We're good.
No. I actually completely agree with what he's saying. Like, it's the same thing I say every time I come on. Glenn, have you thought about adding more screens?
There's always room for more screens, and I'm trying. I want to see how many possible different animations and screens I can cram in. 'Cause I know when I do my thumbnails in my videos, I know you're like, Glenn, what the fuck are you doing? All that shit you cram in there.
Glenn, that's what I love about you, though. You're so retro. Like, everything that you do is still like a website from the early 90s with all the GIF images going crazy and everything like that.
I miss GeoCities. That's what my first website was on GeoCities. And I try to keep that alive. I really, really do. What else we got here tonight? We have Glenn Baisley, of course, here. He's always watching. At 3 o'clock in the morning, my phone goes off. Hey, Glenn, it went up. Hey, Glenn, it went down. Hey, Glenn, it went up. So right now we're currently at $471,000. We still have 9 days to go in the Kickstarter, but we'll get over it a little bit. I don't want to make this a complete infomercial show, Mike. I want to make us wind down the infomercial show.
I came here to shill you.
All right.
That's why you had me on.
I do. No. We're going to talk some Build-A-Cade, but I want to talk about some other things as well. We also have, I had J-Rod here. Who else we got? Chris Williams, of course. Don't want anyone to forget Chris Williams. Heavy Metal Titans 2 Blood Rage is coming out in 2026. And I want to have Chris and a few people on for the new game. It's really looking to be really, really good. It's the same take where it's a violent game, but it's a very different game style than the first game. I think we learned a lot over the first game, and this one's shaping up to really, really cool. So I want to have Chris and the team on to talk about Heavy Metal Titans 2 coming out in 2026. Of course, Bill's Retro Gaming Show is here. Hey, everyone, happy Friday. Who else we got here? Rotondo is here, of course. Is that the way you say? Yeah, he's always here, man. Always here. Great guy. Patrick Murphy's here. Let's go. FUs for all. Hell yeah, man. I know Michael loves the name FU. It's fucking,
I hate that name.
It's fucking great.
So much.
Great name. We got Saiyan Spirits here. Hope I said that right. Saiyan Spirits. I'm terrible at reading names, Michael. Terrible. But you know that already.
Well,
Upkus is here.
I don't know. I don't know if you ever watch Arcades Anonymous. I think Totes Todd is the absolute worst. Like, I've never heard anybody as bad as Todd.
You know, I think we should have Todd on, and we should go through the names and see who fucks up more names. I think we should do that.
Have a shot.
Go right out for it.
Names.
Biggie D's Arcade, welcome here, Biggie D. Who's got 720 Eric? Can't have a show without 720 Eric or Saved by Zero. Michael, everyone loves FU, man. I gotta get you on board with the FU. I gotta get you on board with it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't want it. No. We also have here Fat Hog 13. Is that right, Mike? I think Fat Rog. Am I close?
Fat Hog 13.
Fat Hog 13. Yeah. Thank you.
You know, Glenn, you're familiar with having a fat hog.
The ladies are. How you doing? My Hawk Hurts. Got him here, of course. I can't have a Friday night without My Hawk Hurts here. My Hawk Hurts. Got to get that penicillin right away. I think we got everyone for right now, Mike. So we're kind of caught up. So, I mean, Mike, how was your week this week? I mean, I know obviously with the fires and all that shit going on with you guys up there, it's been kind of interesting for you.
Yeah, it was definitely a new experience. I've never been through anything like that before. Like, there was never any immediate danger. Like, we weren't in the fire path or anything like that. It was just a concern about having to, vacate because of smoke. And then my work took an interesting turn, too, because we had a bunch of community meetings about it as well. You know what I do for work, obviously. So there's an extra level of care when it comes to evacuating persons with disabilities, especially in rural areas. There's not always transportation for them. So it was a really eye-opening experience about how unprepared we are for a lot of this stuff. So it was interesting, but the good news is they've got it mostly under control now. We had a bit of rain today, so yeah, everything's back to normal, hopefully.
So are the fires like out, which is under control at this point?
Yeah, they're under control. We had a light rain today. No updates since then, but they had it under control before then. Like, it's weird because they say even if the fire looks to be out, it could still be burning under the ground and stuff like that. I live in Newfoundland, man. It is literally raining here all year long.
You're an island, right? You're an island.
We're an island. It's usually horrible weather during the summer, like just hot. Wet rain, really foggy. This summer was an absolute different experience. It's been hot. Everybody's grass is all yellow. Like, it's wild.
Well, stop peeing on it, first of all. But while you're having fires up there, we're having earthquakes down here in New York. The past couple of years, we had another. I was actually in where the hell was I? I was in Pennsylvania at the time. It was I guess last weekend, a weekend before, and it was not a big one. But it was another small quake in New York, and there was one a few months back. So we've been having a lot of these small quakes, and what's funny is I am not terribly far from what's called Bear Mountain, and on Bear Mountain they built Indian Point, which is a nuclear power plant, and it's built right in the friggin' fault line. This quake happened, so I was like, "Great job, guys! This is a great place to put a friggin' reactor. Why are we gonna have that?"
Do you remember the new Godzilla? That's what they thought it was. It's not earthquakes at all, Glenn. It's kaiju's. Kaiju's coming out of the earth.
Hey man, I'm ready to get in a mech. I can do a mech. I mean, I'll be that guy. I'll be that guy. Falling backwards and everything else.
New business opportunity for you. The Build-A-Mech FU.
Not a bad idea. I've had a couple of people. They have this new truck coming out called the Slate. Have you heard of this thing?
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be a sub $20,000 electric truck, but now that the federal thing's going away, it's probably like $25,000, $26,000. I'm thinking maybe I can make some stuff for the Slate. I mean, it's supposed to be you add parts to it. I guess you can GRS Build-A-Slate parts in there. Why not?
Who needs a steering wheel? We're gonna use Glenn's push-pull rotating spinner.
We'll put the flight yoke in there for the steering wheel, just like a Tesla. You got the flight yoke, but mine will be able to play Star Wars as you're driving. How cool would that be? Real quick,
hologram screen up on the
throw it up on the screen. Absolutely. We got a quick super chat here from Bill's Retro Gaming Show. Hi, Mike B. I just heard he has a show on Mondays. Is that true, Michael? Do you have a show on Mondays?
You're not going to believe this. Bill has a show now. I am so happy for him. All kidding aside, Bill's been doing this show called Let's Talk for a while. But we play walkabout mini golf with Bill, and we told him, like, if you want your show to grow and continue gaining,
Got to
an
rub it the
audience,
right way, obviously.
yeah, no.
Right?
You gotta pick a night. You gotta stick to it. Bill was doing it kind of randomly, so I'm just giving him a bit of a hard time now because he is taking that step and doing it like pretty regularly. So good for Bill. It's actually really good, really entertaining. One of my favorite things about it is there's not a lot of totes in his background, so it looks a lot more professional. So good job, Bill.
Where me, I can't put enough shit in my background. I got it everywhere.
No,
it just goes
no.
right in.
You're good. You're good. You don't have Christmas decorations behind you. You're fine.
No, it's funny. My God rest my mother's soul now. But my mother. There was a couple of times my father and mother just I don't want to say got into it, but they just weren't doing things. So there was like 1 or 2 years, Christmas decorations were up 365. Christmas tree. My mother still put it on. The lights outside. Summer. The entire year, Christmas decorations. It's like, Mom, when are you taking it down? Wait, your father's not doing it. It's like, I'm not taking those things down all year long. So I get it, Bill. But you have stuff up still. It's okay. It's all right.
It's a battle of wits at that point. Like, I'll intentionally do that with my wife. Like, my wife is the kind of person that everything's a team effort, right? So, like, putting our son to bed, she's like, all right, I'll do this while you do his diaper. And if I don't do the diaper, then I've got to do what she usually does, which is get the bottle. And, like, it's always a team effort. And,
Well,
like, sometimes
personally,
I'm
I think I'd rather have the part going in than the part coming out, Mike. So I think you should do that more often.
Oh, I got to tell you something horrible now. So last night, right before we had dinner, Lara got me to change my son. So I changed my son, washed my hands, everything was good. So we're there eating dinner, and we finish up, and we have a horrible habit. We smoke. So we went out for a cigarette afterwards. She grabs my hand. She goes, you realize you ate your supper, you ate your dinner with Tommy's shit still on your hand, right? I was like, no. I looked, and I was like, how did that happen?
That's the worst. That's the worst. That's why I toilet trained my son at 2 months old.
Holy shit, that's impressive.
Just hold them over the toilet, just like that, and you shake them a little bit, and they go, and then you take them out. You shake them a little bit. Not so much you get the shaking baby stuff, but you shake them around the bottom part, and they go right down the toilet, like a cat. You train a cat the same way. So, on that note, happy Friday, everyone. I know I had a week to be sure. I'm sure you guys did too, and it's funny. It seems like these come fairly quick, Fridays, Mike. I don't know about you, but it seems that way. Like Fridays kind of come quicker and quicker.
Oh, it's a blur, man. I remember being a kid, and you'd wake up and you'd want to do something that night, like a movie would be coming on or something like that. And it felt like the whole day just stood still. Like there was so much time. And now I wake up, I blink my eyes, and I'm like putting the kids to bed, and I'm like, the hell happened to the day?
It goes super quick. It really does. And I still have on my agenda, to be honest, I am trying to refocus myself. My collection and stuff it's gotten out of hand over the years. I think even as a single father with a house of men, no one's saying put the stuff away. Even I know it's too much. So I want to try and focus myself on a little more things. So I have a couple more arcade machines that I'm going to be selling or donating. Haven't decided how that's going to work out, but get rid of some of those things and try and even downsize having 3 of things or 5 of things and try and keep just maybe 1. Just try and go for 1. So I want to try and do that. So keep an eye on some of my Facebook groups. I may start posting stuff in there for people that want it. Rather go to a good home, they just sell it like an eBay to some schmo who's gonna, not really care about it type of thing.
You know what you should consider doing? Our buddy John Riggs and a lot of these other guys, they actually turn it into content. So they'll decide they're going to pare down part of their collection or get rid of some extra stuff. They do these whatnot auctions,
right?
And it actually becomes content for them too. You could kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
That's what I'm thinking. The hard part for me, and you've known me a lot of years, I have a hard time letting go of things, right? Surprise. Glenn has a hard time letting go of things, whether it be a movie like Star Wars 7, 8, 9, which don't exist, the new Star Treks, or consoles. But I do think I think it's probably a little more healthy if I do focus down and keep the collection a little bit more tight, right?
Yeah.
Guys like things that are tight, right? No?
I'll take what I can get.
Well, it looks like everyone wants to get their hands on my goddamn Vectrex machines, man, and I don't blame them. Mike, have you ever played a Vectrex?
Oh yeah.
Okay, what's your thought on the Vectrex? You don't own one
It's
though.
awesome. It's awesome. It's a little before my time, but I can certainly see why it's such a big hit. One of the things I was very big on trying to push Arcade One Up on doing back in the early days when super fanboy in the world, you thought anything was possible. They could do anything, and to the point right now where they can't do anything apparently. But we saw them come out with these stupid little TVs, and they had consoles hooked up to them, and they were coming out with all these ideas. And I was like, they're idiots. If they want to do something really cool and something no one else is doing right now, do a Vectrex. Like, I pushed it. I was like, they should consider doing like a classic Vectrex. Nobody's done like a recreation, a mini. I don't know if it's possible, but that's something that I was adamant about. I was like, if they want to do something instead of this crap, they should consider doing like a Vectrex.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, that's been on my mind a long time. I mean, we could do it. The problem is, like, the Vectrex and the games and the BIOS has all been released to the community. It's released to the community, but I don't think it's released for like for sale, like for commercial use type of things.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to maybe I could try and reach out to them and see if we can make an exception. I would love to make maybe a a half size scale, because Vectrex is not very big anyway. Maybe a half size Vectrex. Maybe FPGA. I don't know if I'd rather use regular parts, but I do think the Vectrex should come back in some way or form, and I think we could do it justice.
I mean, if the games and the content is all public domain, I mean, I don't know if there's much of a Vectrex homebrew community. That's not something I follow, but what you could consider doing is just doing the device and then working with some of the homebrew people to release like cartridges of that, and then allow people to bring the original Vectrex games through ROMs, and they can connect with Cool Toy on that.
Exactly, and that's the next thing. A lot of these old systems, like the Vectrex, like the 2600, and television, like Brian's Man Cave, fellow Canadian. He's now writing in his own Intellivision games. When I was at the Long Island Gaming Show last week, I met, and it was awesome. Just like when I met Nolan Bush now, I met the Activision crew. Right? They're making games again. So they're making a lot of people are starting to make games again for these old systems. And I really take my hat off to the ones doing the Atari, because the Atari, as awesome as it is, it's extremely primitive and tight to program for. In television, you have a little breathing room. Even the Fairchild, which came out before it.
Fairchild Channel F.
Exactly, man. I got the system too, but even that was a little bit easier to program for. And the 2600 was very primitive, and they're making these games for it. And that's what I want to talk about today a little bit. Is like Michael, as far as you go, obviously you're a little bit younger than me. So what do you consider to be your favorite retro console for your age group?
Well, I mean, I'm right in that sweet spot for the Nintendo, and then leaning into the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Those are the three most nostalgic for me. But I know people shit on me because I also like the Atari 2600. That's a little bit before my time. I mean, it was the first video game console I ever played on. But
even still, it could be before your time. Not to cut you off, it could be before your time. But the 2600, like you said, there was just so many of them, and so many people played it. So even I know a lot of people that were much older than I, as far as when they were born, like many years later. But still, the first console was a 2600.
Yeah, well, because you could find them everywhere, and they were dirt cheap. I even remember when I got my NES around that time. You could go to Canadians will remember this. Americans probably won't. We had a place called Consumers Distributing.
Oh, we had Consumers in Peekskill.
You had Consumers?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So
I was trying to buy a handheld from them. I think my mother was telling them to say it didn't have. It was Invader from Space from Epic, and I could never get it. But we had Consumers.
It was such a weird store because they didn't really have a storefront. They had like a kiosk that you.
And it was a catalog.
And it was
from the catalog.
And a warehouse, and you basically just pick something out of a catalog, wrote a card down, and they would go get it for you. And I thought that was the coolest concept ever. But I remember Consumers was the big one we used to get all our stuff from originally. and looking through the consumer's catalog and seeing like Atari games that were like $15. And there was that point where you were like, I wish I had an Atari because I would just get all these games because they're so cheap. I can afford that. Can't afford a $100 Nintendo game.
Well, that was the thing, and they bring it up here too. So we had consumers, and that was in Peekskill when I lived in Yorktown. It's about half hour away. And basically, you had all these catalogs laid out. And then you write in a card what it is. My mother probably said to the guy, you hand the card in, and then it would go in the back in a conveyor belt. This stuff would come out in a conveyor belt and be you write them. But we also had service merchandise. That was one that I think when consumers kind of left the area, it was service merchandise that came in. It was the same principle. You only had all these catalogs. Sometimes they had glass cases, so you can actually shop and look at the stuff that they had. But you had to write in a card, and it went, and then you waited in this big line, and you see these. It's almost like the airport when your luggage would come out, and you'd pick it up. So we had those, but I just remember my first handheld I wanted to get. It was probably 81. It was Invader from Space, and it was obviously a Space Invader game made by Epoch. And I went there for like 2 years, never got it, and I eventually bought one online. But once I was old enough to go to service merchandise, I bought a lot of ColecoVision because crash happened. You bought a lot of these things, or Caldors. That was like another place we had a lot of things that were sold off.
Yeah.
Never not find it at Caldors.
I heard it a lot. Yeah.
Another Caldors was you never not find it at Caldors. Well, I went a lot of times, couldn't find what I wanted, but it was still Caldors was still one of those places. Now for me, I was lucky, I guess, from being born. I was 3 years old with the original Magnavox, but for me, I had the 2600 and I loved it. My friends had the Intellivision, loved it. But I went to a video store. It was like when they used to fix TV sets, back in the day. And there was this one box sitting on there, and I knew what it was. I said, "Is that for sale?" And the guy's like, "Well, not really." It was a Bally-Astrocade, but I wanted it badly. So I kept hounding the guy, being a little 12-year-old kid that I was, very annoying, to go in and bug this guy. Hey, mister, hey, mister, hey, mister. And eventually sold it to me with a bunch of games in it. And that's probably one of the favorite consoles of the era, because when that had come out, unfortunately, Bally left the market before they really sold it. It came out in 78. It was supposed to come out in 77, the same year as the 2600, but it came out in 78. And the hardware was basically like putting basically an NES next to an SNES. The Astrocade was very advanced, but the problem was, like anything else at the time, memory was expensive. So they really had a cut on the memory. But the sound in there was the same as the Wizard of War arcade machine. It was a very good sound chip compared to television. And they had some great ports. They did a good Pac-Man, Galaxian, a lot of good ports. Wizard of War was fantastic. And the bad part about it was it overheated a lot. So if you put it on your shag rug, which in the 70s we all have those shag rugs, the machine would fry itself because it would just overheat. Now in the chat, as we're talking about this, I see some people doing it. Definitely put down what you consider, whether you grew up with it at the time, or you had to buy one as you were older. Like, what's your just favorite console, retro console that you had? Again, I'm not sure. I don't think Canada really had anything different than the U.S. as far as consoles. You never got anything different than we did. Just
sometimes they would come from different distributors, like the Game Genie, for example. I had the Game Genie for the NES, and in I think in the US it was Galoob, and then in Canada it was I can't remember the name of the company, but there was like a different company that actually produced the Game Genie here than in the US.
I think you had the original because it was made in
Chimerica?
England.
Was it yeah,
it was. I think you got that one, but they had to go through Galoob in the States for some loophole. There was some copyright with the name or something that happened with that. Go with Galoob. They couldn't sell it on their own. And actually, you know what's funny? I never actually owned a Game Genie, which is kind of weird. You think I would have at the time. But I actually, when I bought some collections, I ended up getting Game Genies later on. And it's a pretty interesting piece of hardware. It really is.
Oh, you can do some stupid stuff with it. Like, people said, you could cheat at games, and you totally could cheat at games, like set up unlimited lives and stuff like that. But some of the other weird stuff you could do, just like game-breaking stuff. I remember with Super Mario Brothers 3, like being able to have certain powers when you shouldn't have powers, and all kinds of shit like that. Like it was just wild to find out what you could do with the games. It was interesting, but you know, the NES, it became notorious for having problems with like the what is it, the pin connector
Yes.
in the back getting
Yep.
dirty. And then everybody blamed the Game Genie. They were like, oh, that's because you're using the Game Genie. So I actually got really weird about using my Game Genie towards the end because like I was having so much trouble getting my games to work. But what it was, and I didn't know at the time, was just the pin connector was dirty, right? We didn't know about isopropyl alcohol trying to clean the games. We were blowing into the slots, which made it even worse.
It just prepared you for when you started dating later on down the road. That's exactly
Oh,
how
where
it
did
works.
you learn how to do that?
Now, what's funny is, you mentioned game cheating. On the Atari 2600, we would take the on-off switch and we'd go like this a couple times to try and glitch the game. And in Space Invaders, if you went on and off a couple of times, you would get the double shot. So instead of just going one laser, you can do two lasers and you cheat and do the game better. So that was something that we used to do back then. Of course, we were totally effing up the power switch on 2600. Because they're going trying to all these different games trying to get them to glitch and see what it would do, because some would do some weird stuff. I'm trying to think what other game system I used to really enjoy back in the day. I guess my computer. I had a TI 994A back in the day, and there were some interesting games on it. First computer. What was your first computer that you had had and played and enjoyed?
I think we got I can't tell you what kind of computer it was, but we had a computer around Christmas of '93. I think was the first time we ever had a computer in the house. And I remember playing like the first few computer games I played, and I was really behind on this. Was we played like Duke Nukem, not like Duke Nukem that people
The
know today,
side-scrolling
but,
one, the old one.
yeah, the side-scrolling one. So I was so nostalgic when that came out for Evercade that I picked it up and I was like, oh yeah, this is from back in the day and shit like that. So we thought that was fascinating. And then of course Wolfenstein 3D was shortly after that. Then we stepped it up to Doom. I'll never forget. I had a crap computer, but my dad's friend's son came in from like across the island and he picked up Doom 2 and we played it on my computer. And the way it worked back then was you could install it from like they were floppy disks, right?
Right.
So we installed it on my computer and then he was leaving and he was like, "Now we can't share this. So I'm gonna delete this before I go." And I was like, "What are you doing, you nerd? Just leave me with Doom 2." Why are you being such a nerd about it?
That's when the guy gets his underwear pulled over his head and you run.
Oh, I was so mad about that. He was like, "I can't leave it on your computer. That's illegal."
Oh my God! Don't copy that floppy. That was the old thing of the day, wasn't it? Don't copy that floppy. Where's my remote go? I'm losing my. Here it is. I'm trying to fix my camera here a little bit.
Oh, swanky! You've got like a remote on your camera.
Oh yeah.
I just got mine on a stick. I gotta move it with my hand.
Well, in the bathrooms with the young kids, you always have to have sticks. You always got to have those sticks in the bathroom. Oh, look at this, a Tandy 1000. I remember the Tandy graphics back in the old Tandys, which was 16 color for like Leisure Suit Larry, King's Quest. A lot of fun games. Space Quest. Do you ever play those type of games, Mike? Like the point and click adventures? That wasn't your thing? None of those?
Never got into the point and click adventures. I think I tried to play. I think these were NES point and click adventures like Maniac Mansion. And
Love
shit
Maniac
like
Mansion.
Yeah.
You had a TV show, Maniac Mansion, in Canada, as a matter of fact.
We did. And the guy, what's his name, from SCTV, and he played the Jackass guy in the original Happy Gilmore, was like the star of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now the chick from it, she grew up hot, man, really hot. The redheaded chick.
Yeah, that's why
she was in.
That's why you never make fun of when you're young girls, because one day they become hot and they remember. They remember you made fun of them. They remember.
You see him at the bar and you're like, "Hey, baby," and she's like, "Aren't you that asshole?"
Hey, Mike, do you remember the time you pulled my hair? You got nothing.
funniest thing there at me, completely off topic, but I had a party up to my cabin one time and it was a bunch of me and my friends, and we stole this like paddle boat from the cabin next to us, and a bunch of us, like there only supposed to be 2 people in there, but like 4 of us jumped on the paddle boat and started paddling across the water. So anyways, we see another cabin. They're having a fire down by the lake. So anyways, we paddle over. We notice there's a bunch of girls there, and like I'm being a douchebag. I'm like drunk. I'm like, hey girls, what's up? And anyways, they turn around. They're like, Mike Burry, is that you? And I was like, retreat. The jig is up. I was like, how'd they know me?
Well, we had Full Throttle was a great game. The Lucasfilm. So, Mike, if you ever get a chance, on emulation, you can use Scum. It's an emulator for these point-and-click games. Full Throttle, Loom, Secret of Monkey Island, and of course Zach McCracken, Alien Mindbenders, obviously Maniac Mansion. Great games. We did get a super chat from good old Hobby Hands, $2 super chat. In the new Trek Episode 6, you'll see. I heard this. The problem is that new Trek, I think, is Strange New Worlds, and man, it's like a tough thing to swallow. It's like STD. They've taken what gets me. I don't want to go off tangent, but I have no choice now. When you take TV shows, especially when you try to go to prequels, if you don't stay true to the way the characters are, fuck that show. And in Strange New Worlds, Spock is practically sticking his pants and kissing and hugging and being affectionate. That's not Spock. All right, Spock is cold thing, and they just totally effed up his character. They got Khan's great-granddaughter on the fucking bridge of the ship. I'm like, I can't. So if it's in there, I think I saw a picture of that. I cannot watch those shows where they take the lore and just basically fuck it. I just can't do it, Mike.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, I'm a big Friday the 13th guy. We got a little taste of a new Jason thing with this Sweet Revenge there a couple days ago, and what I can say is, like, if you're a real fan and like you've been watching this stuff your whole life, you can tell when something's off, and like it'll just completely upset you. And then other people are like, "What are you talking about? That was great." And I'm like, "No." And then you get into the finite details of the way everything should be, and then they think you're crazy, and you're like, "I'm not crazy. I'm gonna go find other people that think the way I think."
Yep, and Video Game Vegas saying right here. And this is the problem with these shows. Here's another example, like Star Trek Picard. I tried watching it, and I got some bile in my mouth, and I didn't watch it. However, with that being said, curiosity got the best of me, and I went to season 3 first. I just watched season 3, and actually, I thought season 3 of Picard was great. They were bringing back the original cast, did a great job. So I went back and watched the first season 1 and season 2, and it wasn't as bad as I watched it the first time. And it's mostly because so many of the shows are so much more effed over that Picard didn't turn out to be too bad overall. I kind of enjoyed it. And I do see this here. Alien. Have you been watching Alien Earth? This is another show that came out.
First episode last night. I don't know what to make of it yet. Like, I like the alien aspect, but like the whole, like, I've never given a shit about any of the other stuff, the battles for the corporations and what's going on with that stuff. I just, alien, just do the alien, killing people and doing stuff. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Like, I really started to fall asleep with the Android Neverland stuff. I was like, I could not care less.
I've heard good
payoff at some point.
I've kind of heard some good things about it, so I'm willing to give Alien Earth a chance. But I agree with a lot of people. Like, Alien was a great film. Alien was a great horror film. Aliens was a fantastic, war action flick. Alien 3 was shit. Alien Resurrection, dumb but watchable because you knew it was going to be dumb type of thing.
Yeah.
But all the prequels they did were just absolutely terrible. They were terrible. The Alien Romulus wasn't bad. It was watchable one time, and I watched it one time. So that's the thing too. When a movie is good, I will watch it a lot. Aliens, I can't tell how many times I've watched them. Like Star Wars, the original stuff, I've watched so many times, can't even tell you. Other films I watch like once. And Romulus, I was able to watch once. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to go back to it, though. There's no rewatch value. Back to the Futures, I'll watch again and again. Debbie Does Dallas. Hell, we're off the tape. It's like broke. I'll have to get more. But, that's a good 70s porn. The new porn I don't even care about. It's just like they stink. Give me the good old 70s porn. That's what I'm gonna go for.
It's almost like they don't understand it's an art form. There's got to be a story, and nobody has Bush anymore. Like, it's
Well,
terrible.
well, that's the thing. They try and cram in so many different things versus just do a story, write a good story, and let it go from there. They're still trying to cram so many things down our throats. Like I haven't taken Cole on vacation in like 7-8 years now. I refuse. I will not. People are like, I have to go to Disney. Hell no. I am not going anywhere near Disney, especially the Star Wars land. I ain't going near that. I'm going to go to Universal Studios. I'm going to go to Universal Studios and enjoy myself because it's Universal. Disney is just so friggin'. It's horrible. If I see Ray or Kylo Ren, I'm going to punch him in the friggin' head, and I'm going to throw it out anyway.
So, anyways, this explains so much more. Like when you used to tell me, you're like, why do you cover these companies and blah blah blah, and I'd be like, well, it's just the news, Glenn. I'm going to cover whatever I'm interested in. But then when I hear you say I would never take Cole to Disneyland, I'm like, holy shit, Glenn lives this. Like,
Oh yeah,
he's so mad, so mad at this company.
Yeah, I won't go near it. But at least I can say I did take Cole when he was younger. He's been to Disney, so we went to Disney 3 times when he was younger. It was like 5, 9, and 13. So we did the Disney, but they took away all the good things that made Disney good.
I agree.
So there's no point. I'm not giving them my money. I refuse to give my money. And there's stores I won't go into. Like there's stores I will not walk into when you do stuff like that. But Universal Studios right now, as far as I could tell, they're just giving you the movies and that experience. So I want to go down there and do that.
No.
Oh
no! You got to boycott Universal until they bring back Back to the Future the ride.
Yeah, I know. I was a little sad about that.
Yeah,
I was a little sad about that. But they still have other things there worth at least seeing. But I am disappointed the Back to the Future ride is out.
Yeah, like I mean, there's certain staples you expect to go to. That breaks my heart about Disney, though. Like, what's the wet ride that everybody used to
What?
do?
Is that a Debbie Dallas ride down there? Wait, what?
No. It was the one where you go down the log in the Splash Mountain. Like Splash Mountain apparently is gone now. And
well, because Splash Mountain was built off of the Songs of the South. Can't have that.
The fuck, did they ask anybody like if it bothered them, or did
can't have that?
Some white women were sitting around an office being like, I'm sure this offends somebody.
Well, see, Mike, that's my ultimate thing here. When a movie comes out, like Song of the South, when it came out, it was a great film. Now I rewatched it; it's boring as hell, except for the animated stuff. It's the most boring film I've seen in my life. But at the time, the movie was made in that era. Boycotting, trying to erase history is when we start fucking up and history repeats itself. That movie was made in a time. You watch that film for the time period that is. You learn from it. All right. If there's stuff in there that is now felt to be wrong, like perfect example, Blazing Saddles. I, as a kid, loved Blazing Saddles. I was the bean scene, the farting scene. I thought I was going to die because I couldn't get air in my lungs. I was laughing so hard. I tried watching it now. And now I'm being reprogrammed. I can't watch that movie now. I just can't because of certain words that are being said in them. I said, Cole, you got to watch this film. I'm like, holy shit. I turned it off. We can't watch this film. Let's watch something else. So, but at the time when these things were made, you can't scrub it. You can't go back, re-edit stuff out of it. The movie is the way the movie was. George Lucas, I blame. We're doing all the stuff with re-editing and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I always just want to make sure that the people that are upset and offended are the people that should be. And a lot of times with a lot of this stuff, there are times where, what is it? The Washington Commanders changed their name, changed their logos, but there's actually a native group that are arguing, petitioning the state and petitioning the team to change it back to the Redskins and use the old logo, because the logo was actually a representation and a honoring of a former chief of theirs. So I'm like, who the fuck had a problem with this in the first place? If the people that they were worried would be offended are petitioning them to bring it back, like where did this outrage come from?
Well, here Wagner's here. First of all, everyone, say hi to Wagner. Make sure you go to his channel. He posted a really good video today on this 3D LED thing, and I actually had one of those.
I saw that. Yeah.
I sent it back because mine, it was using some weird video format. But what he's saying is true. When Disney got hold of Star Wars, Boba Fett's ship was called Slave One. Okay, it didn't have any meaning with Earth. It had nothing to do with Earth and Slave over here. It was called Slave One because in that universe, it didn't care who you were. You could have been a four-boobed male alien, but it was called Slave One. Now it's called Boba Fett's ship or something like that. And that's a shit.
Boba Fett's spaceship.
Yeah, it's like shit like that, which is like, really? It bugs the hell out of me.
That has nothing to do in any capacity with what people are concerned that it's going to upset people with. That's the problem. All through Star Wars lore, are you going to erase the Phantom Menace because they talk about what is it, Anakin being a slave? Is slave a bad word now? I would never, I go back and look at that part of history, and it's disgusting. You never want to see anything like that ever happen again. But at the same time, you can't just erase this stuff.
Right.
It didn't happen and whitewash it.
But I mean, that's the problem. When you erase it, yeah, but when you erase it, people then don't know it, and that's when things repeat themselves. You're not learning from history. You're erasing it from history, so people cannot learn from the past. And that's whether it be movies, whether it be Michael B taking a shirt off and offending some people and whatever. It's all good. There we go. But that's the thing that really gets me is when these companies are saying, "Oh, it's too offensive now." When we grew up in the 80s, I look at even the cartoons we had in the 80s, they were great. Now they've been pussified. Now,
I think I agree with you. I don't think that anything should change, but I definitely think there's a learning opportunity. I remember when I would have less problem with a notice being attached to a film or something like that, where it said,
right,
please be cognizant that this is a representation of what things were like in the 60s, yada, yada, yada. And I mean,
exactly,
that's a learning opportunity as opposed to you making believe that it didn't exist because we're worried we're going to hurt somebody's feelings.
Exactly. And that, you think you got it right perfect, Mike, is that's what you do at the beginning of these films. They used to do that on TV shows. They would say that, if you're under 18, this show might be a little too intense. Maybe you should have, not watch the show. Or parents, please be advised.
Yeah.
I know we would, but parents, please be advised. Things along those lines. When you used to watch HBO Taxi Confessions, Mike, right? They would always say, hey, listen, might be some stuff in here that might be a little bit adult. So, of course, you're going to watch it. But that's what you do. You don't go in there and you start erasing stuff in these movies or just making the films go away or take rides away because the ride had nothing to really do with it. It was a ride it was called the I forgot the Waterloo ride, whatever it was called. But it was
a Splash Mountain, I think.
Splash Mountain, which was based off of Songs of the South. No one cared. They just wanted to go on the ride. That was it.
They had no clue. And I guarantee you, it wasn't somebody who said, oh my God, that's Songs of the South. That's got to go. That offends me and my history. It was a white woman in a boardroom saying, this is offensive.
Right, exactly. And Mystery Encoder's here. Welcome. This is the Super Glenn and Mike show. That's what this is.
Yeah.
The Super Game Glenn and Mike show. But that's what it really is. So that's what gets me really bad. And that's why I find myself more and more. I only watch stuff maybe 2005 and back for the most part. I don't watch anything. I don't have TV anymore. I watch the old. I keep finding old shows I haven't seen in a long time, like The Man from U.N.C.L.E. or The $6 Million Man or Get Smart. I watch those shows. Get Smart was great, and then Inspector Gadget is version 2.0 of Get Smart. But I find myself doing that more and more.
Yeah, going back to Disneyland for a second, obviously with Splash Mountain, there's other reasons and stuff for that stuff. But one thing that really bothered me was the Hotel of Terror or whatever, the ride where you're
Tower
on the
of Terror. The Tower of Terror.
Yeah,
Terror.
so that got replaced because that was
what? That's not there anymore.
To do it. No, it's a Guardians of the Galaxy exhibit now. Some kind
of
ride. That's the stuff that pisses me off. There is stuff that your theme park should be based around. And while it's classic, it might be outdated. It's those moments that I think they forget that I want to take my kids back and bring them the Tower of Terror and have the experience that I had. I don't want to bring them back and be like, hey, this is a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Let me tell you about it when it would used to be cool. Like they don't understand that passing of the torch and sharing things with your children.
Right, that's that. Oh my God! So I didn't know about that. So when did Tower of Terror get axed?
A couple of years ago now. I'm sure people in the chat would know better than me, but it's a Guardians of the Galaxy ride now, apparently.
But again, not that that's a bad thing, but like Back to the Future, again, those, especially at Universal, I mean, that's one of their biggest IPs. Why would you get rid of Back to the Future? Update it. If you want to update it, that's fine. Just don't put Kylo Ren or Rey in it, and you know, the ride will be great. But wow.
Mystery Encoder is so concerned about whether or not I'm going to get something for free. He's like, oh, so are you sending him an FU for free? Like, this is all he fixates on now.
So I want to, let's talk about it real quick. So we talk about a couple things. So I had actually talked to Michael. Michael and I have been talking a lot. Obviously, he's a Canadian. I'm in the U.S., so I'm trying to figure out ways to get the FU into other countries. Now, right now, it's difficult with a lot of different things, but my team came to me and said, look, Glenn, if Canadian people, is that offensive to say? Canadian people, is that offensive, Mike?
I don't know. Can you say it again?
Canadian people? Yeah. Is that offensive?
How dare you?
I figured. I'm a dumb fuck. But my team said, listen, if we could get guaranteed order of at least 50 FUs, we could send it to Canada, but it would still be a $500 charge to get it in the country, but we could do it. So I know Michael posted out a couple of things, and I saw the comments. I don't think we'd ever hit the 50, unfortunately, right now for it. But we also talked to a few other people, including the Buy Stuff store, and I have to still reach out to them. That might be a possibility again. I'm just going back. I got to talk to a lot of different people in this whole thing. But I've talked to the Buy Stuff store a couple of times. They've always been very receptive about doing it. But my thing is, if I do ship it to the Buy Stuff store, let's say you buy just a regular FU and that's $350, and it goes to the Buy Stuff store for $350. The customer's got to pay for the $9.99, $350, and then whatever it costs from the Buy Stuff store to get that to Canada. I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, and some people will be like, fuck that, I'm definitely not going to do that. But other people will be like, I 100% will do that. So if you can get around the 50, I will tell you that, I always get shit on by a lot of people saying that, oh, Mike B is in with companies, yada, yada, yada. And like, no one has a fucking clue what any of us do. Glenn, I mean, if anybody in this community was ever in with companies, I mean, it was always you since the beginning. Arcade 1-Up, Act Games. I mean, you were more in with anybody. So like, it's just so ludicrous. But years ago, I had a similar situation to what's going on with your situation now. I was harassing Act Games a lot because Act Games couldn't get their products into Canada, and I really wanted them to come in because we didn't have an option for a multi-cade like the ALU. We didn't, the pinball machines coming up, and we didn't have options on that. So they came up with a similar thing. If we can work with somebody, find a retailer, and we can sell a certain number of units, we can get them into Canada. So, I did the same thing. I, talked to Buy Stuff store. I took orders from people. I said, if you're interested, this is how much it costs. Act Games need 10 orders in order to get the ALU here.
Right.
I mean, that's a pretty normal process. And I wasn't paid to do it. And it was completely voluntary because I wanted the arcade to come here, and I wanted to help out. Maybe that makes me a bad person. I don't fucking know. But it's the same thing I'm doing with you. If there's any way I can help, like to get the product to Canada, I'm going to do it.
Well, I think being an influencer, and that's ultimately what we are. We are influencers. We influence people one way or the other. We have to have some type of relationship with some of these companies. Maybe not every single company, because there's some one-off companies, some small things, but some of these bigger ones. And to be honest, I'm probably the biggest, like I said, offender of everyone. When I started doing this I've been doing YouTube longer, but when I started in 2018, when Arcade 1-Up was coming out, the whole point was to get us all to communicate with them, and then at games, and then New Wave Toys. It is my fault.
Did this to us.
I absolutely did. So when you guys get a lot of flack over it, I was the gateway drug to initiate all that. Unfortunately, I left a lot of them because sometimes the companies wanted too much I guess, return or control over the content. And I was not okay. Not that I say it does with everyone. I don't want to put down other YouTubers saying that, but at least from my standpoint, I felt they wanted us to do too much and control the narrative more than I was comfortable with, and I left a lot of them. Or they just stole my product, and I said, no, screw you guys. One of the two. There's one or the other. Tip with that. But the shill word gets thrown out a lot there. The shill word does get thrown a lot out there, but a content creator is one of two things. They're there to report the new stuff because people want to know. If they didn't want to know, they wouldn't tune in to the content creator to see what they're showing. Now, it comes down to whether you believe the content creator is being, what's the word I'm looking for? Being fair on both sides. Genuine, fair. And that's up to you, the individual, to believe with the content creator. If you're following a content creator, most likely you kind of believe it. Now, if you're following a content creator just to constantly berate them on stuff, maybe you shouldn't follow that content creator.
Oh, no. They should completely keep following me. I appreciate the views, guys. So yeah, feel free to come by, shit on me. I appreciate it. Leave a thumbs down. It's all good for the channel. So thank you.
I think Cartman's mom will come over and do that. She says a little shit on you. Just try him.
It's so ridiculous, and I apologize because I let it really bother me because I've never had my I don't know the right term for it. I've never had my character questioned some way like that, and like I wasn't doing like what these people thought or accused me of, but at the same time, I understand the optics of it. So I should have been more like Cool Toy doesn't give a shit, man.
No, he doesn't.
No one says anything to him.
Cool
Toy's more caught up with companies than anybody else, but at the same time, if someone said something to Cool Toy, he'd just be like, "I'm just never going to talk to that person ever again."
Or he goes one of these. And the guy's dead.
I'll kill you.
Now, I got to respond to this real quick. So, first of all, I appreciate the comment about the products, but I do, and we're all living in a country or a world where we have our own opinions. I totally respect your opinion, but I definitely disagree. I think maybe woke may not be the right term. That's the term I've always heard used. But when I watch a lot of these, like Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, again, nothing wrong with women on the bridge. But again, it doesn't coincide with how the bridge was. I don't see how Uhura talks to the captain. She would never have done that. So I just respectably disagree. I think that maybe woke's not the right word, but that's the word I use to point to a narrative being thrown down our throats versus just writing a good story. When someone's got to make it very diversive, female-oriented. Again, I have no problem with Wonder Woman, no problem with Scarlet Witch, no problem with, any woman characters if the character was designed that way. But when you take like Starbuck and you flip it around, I'm sorry, I have a problem with taking legacy characters and making, like, every show now, guys are idiots. Every single show you watch, the guy's a fucking moron, and every woman does no wrong. Like I'm enjoying The 100. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed this show called The 100. It's out a few years ago. But I'm looking at it. All the guys that can lift cars, they're fucking morons. And these girls who are 10 pounds are throwing them around, beating the shit out of them. It's like, get fucking real. I am sorry. I'm not buying that crap. And again, no offense.
There's right ways to do that. Like in horror movies, there's traditional roles that males and females play. If you ever wanted to, go check out the original Slumber Party Massacre, because the male and female roles are reversed, but it's not in the way that you would think. It's not that ridiculous, like the women are going out chopping up wood or anything like that, but it's just the way they react. It makes me think of, I love Avengers Endgame. One of my, I just love it. Excellent. Infinity and Endgame. But there's a part that I really have a problem with. I'm going to definitely get canceled tonight at some point during this podcast. But anyways, in Avengers Endgame, there's a part where all the women get together and do this big charge and attacking people. When that could 100% be done, they could have done it, but there's a reality there that half of the characters that they included, just because they were women, would have died during that charge. Like, so you would have had, you know, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, you would have had WandaVision.
Right.
They would have made it through totally fine.
Oh,
But
yes.
like the woman with no powers from Black Panther should have been killed immediately.
Right,
She should
exactly.
have been like, let's go, girls. And
Yep.
then someone just randomly kills her.
Right.
Because that's realistic. She doesn't have any fucking powers.
Right. So that's what this gets me about that. So again, maybe woke is not the right word to use, but and all the times I've heard it spoken about in my circle, that's a term used. And again, I have no problem with strong women. Hell, man, if a woman wants to toss me around, like I know you got to go to Super Gamer Dudes. If a woman wants to toss me around, hey, she's welcome to do that. But you know, I don't expect a 55-pound woman who, you know, to pick up a 200-pound guy and throw him around like a bitch. I just don't.
No, I'm down for Death by Snoo Snoo. That's a
yeah.
wonderful way to go.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Now, Mike, I know you have to go to Super Gamer Dude, so I'm going to let you hop over to them because they're getting jealous.
Did
They're
we
hitting me
even
up.
talk about retro consoles? Did we forget to do that?
No, we did a little. We talked a little bit about it. We did. But again, you know, when you come on my show, it's more of two guys sitting down at a table and just talking. So
I like it.
Yeah, so I'll let you go. I'm going to stand a few more minutes, though. If anyone has any questions about FU, I guess still shield up myself. But, Mike, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I'm glad the fires are under control up there. Any last words, please be my guest.
Canadians, if you want to get in on this FU action, you got to make sure you let Glenn know and start putting the pressure on Buy Stuff Store because they can make this happen. So anybody in Canada who wants an FU, let's talk to Buy Stuff Store. Let's talk to Glenn and let's make this happen. Shill power is activated.
Mike, once again, I appreciate you tonight for coming on the show, talking a little bit. And if anyone wants to stay on for about 5 or 10 more minutes, you have any questions about the FU or the videos I did, there's your time to answer before you hop over to Super Gamer Dudes. Because you know right now P-Dubs is talking right now. Michael's late. Michael's not here. Let's go on for 5 or 10 minutes anyway. So we got some time.
Glenn, I love you. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. I should probably get going.
You should. I know you don't want to go. I know you want to stay here. Here you treated better. You treated much better on my show.
There's no nostalgia here.
Nostalgia is a very good monkey. I mean, you know, he's good. Just give him his bananas.
What do you mean by that, Glenn?
I mean that he's even more. He's more hairy than me. That's what I mean.
All right, Glenn. I'll talk to you later. Buddy.
Thanks, Mike. Have a good day. All right, Michael is gone for the rest of the night. But if you guys have any questions or you want to hit me up at anything, I'll stand on a few more minutes and trying to look at the chat here and see if I missed anything. And again, I don't mean to offend anyone, but obviously some people always be offended. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I respect everyone's opinions out there. I know people who do like those shows, people who don't feel this is the case. I'm from 1969, and I grew up in a very different time. And my son, he's fine with it. My son doesn't see a problem with it. I do. Maybe I'm like the Duck Dynasty guy a little bit. I don't know. But I do feel that a lot of things that are being relaunched from classic properties are being done injustice. Do a new property. You know, don't use a property that was an old show and change it. Here we go. See, 1972 right here. So if you want to make your own characters, make your own characters. And in my opinion, they're going to fail. That's why they use legacy characters and try and twist it into a where they use subvert our expectations. That's what they do. And just come up with your own stuff. Exactly. Stop twisting the things we love. When I see a trailer for something and I go see it, I'm like, what the fuck happened here? Please don't do that. And that's it. You know, sometimes I have to preach, and I appreciate Wagner. Wagner, same year, man. This month. Look at you, buddy. You could be 56. You're right behind me. Congrats. J-Rod, what's the J-Rod saying here? Right. And again, I will never tell anyone ever that they don't have a right to their opinion. But on the flip side, I'm entitled to mine. I'm very respectful when I'm talking to someone about it because that's called a discussion. And adults should be able to have a discussion. But I'm tired of being told that I'm the problem. I'm not the problem. I enjoy movies, TV shows. I enjoy watching guys in films. I enjoy women in films. Scarlett Johansson, when she was, the Black Widow, I believe that she probably could beat the shit out of a big guy. She's been trained for years. That's her character. But there's other things where I just don't buy it. Like seeing Uhura beat up a Klingon. I'm sorry. That's not happening. It's just not going to happen. But I respect the people's opinions. You like those shows? That's great. But I'll never go into those shows. So everything is on track. I posted a video today about I can post it up over here. Can I post over here? Yeah, I can. Let me bring this up over here. Okay. So just real quick. So right now we still have we're down to 8 days now. That's right. It's after 8 o'clock. So we're down to 8 days, and there's still quite a few of the $9.99 early bird specials. Still 32 available. So I like to see before the 8 days go out, at least get these 19-inch rotating screens out there. But we still have some of these left. But I want to show you more. So I got the videos here. So this is the gas pedal that we're working on. Of course, there's a commercial, which we have to go through the commercial. Can I get a copyright strike for the commercial in my commercial on my show? I don't know. But we are working to build this pedal, and it is a gas, brake, and clutch. And I've seen a lot of people commenting back to me, Glenn, why are you putting a clutch on a stand-up unit? And we'll get a close-up shot here in a second. So there's a gas, and this is just a prototype. This is not in any way, shape, or form complete. We're just trying to make sure that it is very strong, robust. And Michael B's name's still on there. I got to get his name off of there if I can find it. I have so many things on the screen. Where is Michael B hiding here? Michael B, your name's hiding on me. I think this is it. There we go. Good. So we'd be looking to add 2 of these, obviously for the two wheels on there. But people are like, why do you have a gas, the brake, and the clutch? And my answer is, if you look at the FU unit itself, the FU unit is actually 2 pieces, right? It's a top and a bottom piece. So I'm not saying I am. I'm not saying I'm not. But it is possible you may have different bottoms to the FU. Maybe it will be a sit-down cab version of the FU, right? So if I have a sit-down version of the FU, you want to probably have a clutch for driving games. So, and this could be also, it's USB. So we could sell this to people outside of the FU. Even hell, the 1/6 scale Build-A-Cade. You want to do a driving game and have a gas brake? You could be sitting down with the 1/6 scale doing it. So there's a reason to do this. And I'd rather have the option there for you guys to have versus not having it there, especially if I can get it at a price that's so reasonable. Why not give you a gas, brake, and clutch? So that's kind of where I'm going with that. So we have the gas, brake, and the clutch. We're just doing a lot of testing with different materials. See, we have 3 different pedals here because we're testing out different pedal designs. But I want to make sure that when we do this, and my electric bill, first of all, my electric bill is, I just put solar now. So, and I'm still going over, but I'm trying to get better with my carbon footprint, if you will. But we are trying to make this. So the FU right now is a full-size stand-up arcade, but technically the top comes off and is rubber feet. You can make it a big bar top, or maybe you could put it on a sit-down cab, an FU sit-down. So just keep an open mind with these things. I definitely try to think way outside the box and give a lot of people more options than maybe even think you would have. So that's kind of what's going on with this here with the gas brake pedals. And, obviously I already did a video on the rotating screen, but that's kind of where I'm going with for this on this, if I made any sense there. I think one of my things, did this thing stop here? So, well, I don't know, maybe. And I absolutely am, but I don't know if we'd ever sell the FU as a sit-down cab. It would pretty much be maybe buy the FU, then you buy a sit-down car expansion kit to add to the FU. The FU the $9.99 FU is really the base that gives you kind of everything that you would need. And then it might even be not for me. Maybe it's coming from the Buy Stuff store. Maybe it's coming from 99 Lives Arcade. But the point is, the FU, that base it sits on that has your decks in there, you can change the bottom out for something else. I mean, think about just lifting up the FU, you and a friend, lifting up the FU and placing it on a sit-down cab. You have a gear shifter over here, and you have your brake, clutch, steering wheel. So these are things I think of. I try and plan out further than just the right now. I want to plan this out further on down the road. And that's what I want to do. I want to give you guys so many damn options. Now, as far as this goes, is it going to be a riser? I can guarantee someone will make a riser. Am I building the riser? Probably not. But will some third party make risers for it? I can guarantee that they are and will. So, and of course, without saying names, I'm not saying names, but there's certain places that you may have heard of that would probably do something along those lines because they're very good at it. So that's the thing. Not only is the FU a product for me, but I'm reaching out to a lot of these third parties to make sure I'm not charging them anything. Here, whatever you need from me, I'll give you. So you can build things for the FU to build and continue on that, the ecosystem. That's kind of what I want to do. I want to build that stuff out. And why can't I? There we go. Get that out of the way. So I hope that answers the question. So I posted videos recently. If you haven't seen it, it's on my channel with how the screen's going to rotate in the 19-inch. I showed the light gun working. We're still doing some testing with the light guns because the screen is tilted about 45 degrees. It does work, but I want to make sure other guns work as well. Still doing some testing on that. I also have some other ideas for the screens, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So we have the 19-inch rotating. We have the 26-inch manual rotating. But I have other screen ideas as well that I don't want to talk about just yet because I'm still trying to convince my team that I want to do this. And it may actually come out as an expansion kit for other things with the screen. So just keep in mind that the FU has a lot of different things that you'll never see or have never seen before on other machines. And that's what the FU is going to be. It's going to be a fundamental, universal unit. I am a big F&Ts, and all I will say is that anything I've ever talked about, I pretty much always delivered on my promise, and sometimes under-promised for what you get. So I'm going to leave it at that right now. You know me, when I start drinking my margarita, I talk too much, so I don't want to spill too much this time, because right now my main goal right now is just to make sure that the FU 19-inch and the FU 26-inch and all the control decks we currently have and the gas brake clutch pedal, I want those to come out. I want them to be premium without that premium price. I want you guys to put this thing together and go, holy shit, how did he do that for this price? It's amazing. We have Arcade. We're going to have the Viper Venom. It's going to be an amazing, amazing system that we're going to build upon. And it's not just me. I have other partners that will be making stuff for it. So you just have to wait until we get this out in the wild for those things to come to fruition. So I'll give it one more minute, see if there's any other questions here. I'm not drunk. I drink too much to be drunk these days. It is what it is. It's called life. But sometimes I do talk too much because I get excited. I really want you guys to experience this, but I know you guys have used my other products and you're happy with the products. Some people have the Viper Venom, not the Viper Venom, they have the Viper with the KVM and the Ultimate Control Panel for the Arcade, and they're all stoked and happy. So this is going to take that basically to the next level. So the Arcade was like a proving ground, but now the FU is going to be its replacement. Now, of course, the FU never would have even happened if Arcade didn't go bankrupt. We would have built all these different modules and enhancements for the Arcade. But since that did unfortunately go belly up, we're now taking that we learned to the next level. And there'll be other control decks coming out. There will be potentially other kits for where the FU sits on. So these are things, again, that will come, hopefully, once the Kickstarter comes to completion and we start delivering that. I'm still hoping that people will back the Kickstarter. I would love to get to another 30 people on the $9.99 because I still can't believe the $9.99 hasn't sold out. Because again, you could start at the $9.99 and you were able to buy stuff off the T6 website. You want to go to 26-inch later? You could do that. You want to buy their expansion decks or Nintendo Hood? You'll be able to do that. But at least buying the $9.99 unit secures you your base unit. And then you go on from there. So on that note, I do want to say, listen, I want to thank all you guys. You guys have always been a great supporter of me, even if sometimes I say things maybe you don't agree with. But it's okay not to always agree with somebody, especially how I feel about Disney and some of these TV shows. It's okay not to agree. Not everyone agrees with everybody. This is not a world of clones. It is a world where everyone has their own opinions. It just depends. You have to be respectful. I respect other people who like those shows. But then when they say, you're a jackass, you're a scumbag, you don't like the shows, then I have a problem. Then I'll go back at you because that is not, in my opinion, acceptable. You can have a conversation with somebody, but once you start saying you don't like the show, you're an asshole, or you're this or that, well, you can't force me to like your show. Like I can't force you to like my show because if you wanted to watch the good stuff, you'd watch my shows. And that's my opinion. And I can find saying that. And you can say, I disagree. And I'm like, that's totally fine. But that's where I'm at. Everyone has a right to their opinions, but I am absolutely entitled to mine, and I'm entitled to believe what I believe about these shows, and I'm also entitled to believe that you guys deserve 10 times more when you buy something. You deserve to get what you want, plus then some. Now I'm just rambling. So listen, I have a night ahead of me. I've spent time with my son. I want you guys to spend time with family and friends or go to Super Gamer Dudes, whatever you want to do. But I do want to say I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the support. If you can, tell your friends. We have 8 days left on the FU Kickstarter. But as fun as this all is, or as crazy as it all is, just remember, nothing takes precedence of your family, friends, loved ones, whether they're close or far. People are much more important. Make sure you tell them you love them. I can tell you from experience, tomorrow's never promised with people alive, deceased, or alive. Things happen. But if you can, tell them you love them. You guys have a great weekend. And absolutely, my friends, game on.
Lumino and cartridges, hidden reset. 8-bit dreams, can't lose that bet. Floppy disks and arcade lights. Pac-Man, Frogger, we're playing all night. Simpsons in the background, neon in the air. 80s vibes, man, we didn't care. VHS tapes, staying up too late. Saturday cartoons, can't wait to escape. Dial-ups humming, we're hacking the code. Back when everything was in upload mode. Atari, Commodore, pixels on screen. Living in the future was more than a dream. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll and roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades to TV shows that ruled, you know we're kicking it old school. MTV playing our favorite jams, moonwalking with MJ, Neon Slam. Ghostbusters gear, we're ready to go. Chasing slasher scenes, fears in tow. Back to the future, hop in the DeLorean. Knight Rider cruising, man, there's no ignoring them. Battlestar Galactica, what a ride. Looney Tunes, antics, pure joy inside. Blockbusters ruled, we lined up for days. Video games booted up in the pixelated maze. Movie marathons and popcorn nights, we ruled the screen, living in the lights. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll, we roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades to TV shows that ruled, you know we're kicking it We're cruising on hoverboards, living our dream. Old school forever, we're igniting the scene. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back.